Well, I have the camera, and I'm hoping there's enough battery life in here. I'm just taking a little stroll. I'm in the process of finishing the project, putting a finish on it, and I'm waiting for the first round to dry a little bit more before I flip it over and do the other side of everything. I have an order that's going out on the weekend. I've already videoed about it. And besides, the finishing area is not very neat and clean and exciting to look at. I thought I'd just walk a little and talk, and whether I'm good at that or not. It's giving me views, posting every day. I've been consistent. Videos have probably been terrible. There's a couple of things to test yet. One thing I want to test is to see if that light in the shop is really adequate for videotaping at all after dark, because sunset's getting earlier and earlier, and there's going to be a point when I get home from work that it's going to be dark, and I'll still be able to do work in there with the lighting that's there, but I don't think it's strong enough to do any video work, which we'll need to rectify. I'll need to get another light, or stronger light, put it in the same position, then I should be able to videotape my work. Of course, it'll be mostly woodworking. I'm hoping to do a few things on that. I did have an idea today. Most of my 2x4 articles, I'm going to change the articles slightly because I don't think they're hitting the search as well the way they are. I know a little bit of how to do this better. But it doesn't always enter my mind, and I don't always end up with results that I want. I've just noticed that I publish those articles, and while I was advertising them a little bit on Facebook and Twitter, they got views, but now they basically get nothing. They just fell off the face of the earth. And they'll get a little boost when I do another one on 2x4s that introduces the other ones, which is not a bad idea, but I'll get to that. Hoping the weather is decent. I mean, I can still work when it's raining in the shop or in the building, but I don't know, I like the outdoors. And part of my shop is outside, so there's stuff I can't do. Like my table saw, I can haul it inside, but there's no place to work with it. Not safely, anyway. Right now it's sitting there outside the shop. We have a list of projects that have to be done before winter. If I can get them all done, there's about 4 of them. There's a 5th thing on the list that I want to do, and that's basically frame a greenhouse on the side of the building where my shop is. Rip that thing down and give myself more space to work inside a greenhouse. I've done it before, but that'll mean that all my equipment will be able to be inside. I'll be able to build racks and stuff to hold my tools and pretend that I'm indoors. I can put the white coroplast stuff from McDonald's on the walls in a few places, which will help for lighting. It'll help protect a little bit. It'll reflect the sunlight around. So hopefully during the winter I can get quite a bit of work done in there anyway. Even though every day that I come home after work, except for Friday, it's going to be dark. And that's what I have to deal with. But I just want to be able to continue working, because it's those times that if I can be productive year-round, that'll mean that I'll be able to make money year-round. But that's what I'm trying to accomplish. I do have more ideas for articles with the 2x4s. I was planning to do one on mallets. I was going to, and I may do that this weekend. I'm going to do a carver's mallet and a regular hammer style mallet. You know, it's a hammer handle with a head. They're fairly light duty because spruce is not all that tough. I mean, in the future I might make it out of something really hard. But the hardest wood I have available is apple wood, which is plenty hard, but it's hard to get big pieces of it. And it's such nice wood that I feel guilty beating something with it. And I don't have anything else that's really quite that hard. I don't have any hard maple available in here, which is something I could use. And the ash really isn't mine to go after. I think there's a small one on the road allowance, and I might be able to use that. But because ash has got a disease problem coming across the country and will eventually get here, I kind of feel guilty about hurting any trees that just might be resistant and might save the species, so to speak. There's ash. We had ash trees growing in Ontario in our back of our property, and I've seen pictures of the places since, and they all died. They're dead as doornails. Probably cut up for firewood already. Which is sad, because they were nice big old trees. The other project I thought of doing was replacing my wife's bar stool that got stolen years ago. It's kind of sad. I liked it. She liked it. She has physical limitations. She does have osteoarthritis of the upper back. She has some vein issues in her legs, varicose veins. She's had both of the main veins in her legs stripped out to alleviate some family blood clotting problems. That family has a history of it. She shouldn't get that. However, she has trouble standing or sitting for long periods of time. So if she can mix the two, she can actually get a lot done. And dragging this bar stool behind her was really, really helpful. Not only that, she really liked it. I liked it too. I made it out of 2x4s, turned it, and she did some toll painting on it. And then we put clear coat on it. And it was actually a beautiful piece of furniture. Used a lot. I was of all the tools and stuff that got stolen out of our shop, I was upset, but the thing that upset me the most was that bar stool, which was made out of scrap wood, and I have the wood that I can do that again. I want to make one. I'll make the seat a little bit differently because I don't want to put something that big on my lathe. My main bearing in that is starting to go, and I know putting that on will help tear it up faster. I'd also have to put it in outboard position because the seat less than 14 inches really isn't comfortable. Even for people with little bums like we've got. But it'll help to just glue up and take the corners off. I don't know how round I want to make the seat. But turning the legs, I'll probably make them a little fancier than last time. Last time they were just straight up made round. I drilled holes in them, turned tenons on the end of things, and stuck it all together. And she held together just beautifully. And that would be a precursor to making a bar stool for myself. I'm thinking of doing it twig style and discussing twig furniture some. I would still turn the ends of it because I'm thinking of using the elm wood. The little bug patterns at 8 trenches underneath the bark, I think that it looks really, really cool. And if I could put 4 legs like that on a stool, I think it would have an interesting effect. I'd have a lot of fun doing that. Plus I could teach a little bit about making joints. Joinery is important when you're doing twig furniture, even though people seem to think that it's making garbage furniture or furniture out of garbage. Making something out of branches like that, there's no excuse for making bad joints if you don't have to. Saw an absolutely awful example of that. Some woman was putting together an end table, I think it was, or a table for putting a lamp on in the living room. It was cute, but her joints were so bad it was falling apart while she was building it. And I'm sorry, nails at the wrong angle to put things together, and hot glue don't make for good joints. And yeah, the results were pathetic to say the least. That's the kind of piece of furniture that you'd stick in the corner and tell everybody don't touch it or it'll fall apart. And after a few years it does anyway. That kind of piece of furniture would never survive in my place very long. Somebody would bump it within a few days, if not a few hours, and then have to build it all over again. But I make joints better than that, so I'll look forward to showing that. Probably got other ideas that'll come up as well. But it's not like I lack for ideas. I lack time some. I lack motivation to get off my rear end and do some of these things, but I'll get after it. I'm not lazy. Anyway, I'll just finish with my normal closing, which I skipped yesterday. Don't forget, time flies whether you're having fun or not. And if you listened all the way this far, you have yourself a good day.